Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the inaugural presentation of Rincon Resources. As a co-founder, investor and major shareholder, I'm very excited about the potential of Rincon's projects, and I believe the company provides a very attractive entry point to the Tier 1 geological and mining endowments of the Paterson Province and the Laverton Gold fields. The cover slide is a photo of our Hasties tenements, which are 12 kilometres southwest of Newcrest's Telfer gold mine. The two rocks in the foreground are outcropping gossans of gold and copper. This distinguishes Rincon from many of our peers because all three projects are 100% wholly owned and all three have defined outcropping mineralisation on them. Standard disclaimer, please read that at your leisure. As mentioned, Rincon Resources is a gold and base metals exploration company, and we are focused on proven but underexplored mineralised belts in Western Australia. There is an experienced board and management team with recent resource discovery success. The co-founders, myself and Zephron Reeves of Rincon, also co-founded Tesoro. Tesoro has recently made the El Zorro project discovery in Chile. Rincon has three strategic and regionally significant West Australian projects. Our focus will be on drilling two of these projects, Laverton and the South Telfer projects. We will be targeting this to establish maiden resources by year end 2021. Focusing in on the location of our projects, we are 100% owners of the South Telfer project, which is in the Paterson Province. The tenements are 12 kilometres southwest of the Telfer gold mine. We have over 50 kilometres of prospective Telfer host geology. Newcrest drilled these tenements in the late 90s, early 2000s. Hence, they have proven gold and copper mineralisation outcropping at surface. Our second project is the Laverton project. Again, Rincon owns this 100%. The project is 4 kilometres south-southwest of Laverton. There's 11 kilometres of prospective greenstone belt, to be specific, the Mount Margaret Murrin greenstone belt. There are historic gold mines on our tenements and defined targets on our tenements. The third project is Kirikara. Again, we own 100% of this project. It is prospective for orogenic gold and IOCG gold and copper. Focusing in on our South Telfer property, the Paterson Province is going through an exploration boom. Rincon's tenements are these three in the red down here. As I mentioned, we are 12 kilometres southwest of the giant Telfer mine, 32 million ounces, 1 million tonnes of copper. Also in this region, the Paterson Province, have been some recent discoveries. Rio Tinto's Winu discovery, 500 million tonnes at 0.45% copper equivalent. Rio Tinto holds over 12,000 square kilometres of tenements. To the west is MetalX Nifty copper mine, 2 million tonnes of copper. Another junior in the area explorer is Antipa. They've made several discoveries in the Paterson Province, Calibre, Magnum and Minyara. Also in this province is Greatland Gold. They've made the Havieron discovery. They're currently in a joint venture, $65 million joint venture with Newcrest. Fortescue Metals also holds over 500 square kilometres of tenements in the north. Our three tenements are shown on this slide. We have over 54,000 hectares of granted tenements. As you can see, very close to the Telfer gold mine. Combined, the three tenements have over 50 kilometres of Telfer host geology. Dolphin West and Western are actually directly along the same mineralised trend as the Telfer mine. We have outcropping mineralisation on our Hasties project. Hence, we have very well defined drilling targets, which we'll look to drill in early 2021. You can see from this slide there has been a significant amount of drilling and soil sampling undertaken by Newcrest in the late 90s and early 2000s. Newcrest drilled 260 holes for 24,000 metres. They also took over 1,000 soil samples at the Dolphin Western area. We have large gold and copper systems identified, and we have multiple targets that are defined and drill ready. We have native title agreements in place. We're currently finalising our heritage clearances. On this slide, you can see the drilling that's been undertaken by Newcrest around the Telfer mine. What makes Rincon a very exciting opportunity is the very good gold and copper intercepts from surface on our Hasties prospect. Some of those numbers include 57.8 metres at 2.5 grams per tonne from 17 metres, 16 metres at 4.75 grams per tonne gold from 42 metres, 68 metres at 1.33 grams per tonne gold from a metre, 36 metres at 1.66 from 2 metres. We also had 5 metres at 3.73 grams per tonne from 50 metres. Below the gold mineralisation, there has also been some very good copper intercepts. For example, 20.6 metres at 1.23% copper from 87.6 metres, 10.9 metres of copper at 3.39% copper from 91.8 metres, and 4 metres at 4.84% copper from 49 metres. So we have a significant head start by the amount of wide space drilling undertaken by Newcrest on all 3 tenements. Our large western tenement has a 5-kilometre gold anomaly delineated by wide space air core drilling. You can see that represented by the blue dots here. Focusing in on Hasties, where we'll look to mobilise early in the new year and undertake our first field program. This is the area from the front slide I showed you, the first slide that has the outcropping surface gossan. There is gold in that gossan up to 36.35 grams per tonne. This mineralisation is structurally controlled and it's a breccia style mineralisation. We have a mineralised zone of over 1 kilometre and up to 50 metres wide. It is open in all directions and has only been sparsely tested on a small strike length. We'll use a combination of geophysics, ground geophysics, IP, soils and structural mapping to target in. All the wide space drilling here that you can see requires follow-up, and large portions of the tenements have had no drilling on them at all. Moving to the Dolphin West and Western tenements, as previously mentioned, there's a 5-kilometre gold and magnetic anomaly find in the northwestern section of this tenement. It was defined by wide space air core drilling. As we move to the southeast, the project does go undercover of up to 20 to 100 metres. But prior drilling by Newcrest included 8 metres at 3.85 grams per tonne gold from 84 metres. This anomaly has never been followed up. It's open to the southeast. And there's over 25 kilometres of prospective strike that has never been explored. We'll commence a soil sampling program here early in the new year. Moving to the Laverton Gold Project, as you can see from this slide, we have a very strategic tenement package here, surrounded by some very large existing mines and companies. To the south is the Wallaby mine, 7 million ounces, owned by Anglo Ashanti, who hold all this ground in the green. Further to the north, you can see Focus Minerals properties, and to the west, there's the Mount Morgans mine, 2.8 million ounces, owned by Dacian Gold. The Laverton endowment has produced over 25 million ounces of gold. There's historic and producing gold mines within the area. This more clearly defines our tenement, our 2 tenements, and you can see the township of Laverton, which is 4 kilometres to the south, to the north-northeast. We have very easy access to Laverton and the mining service industry that it provides. We have 4,200 hectares in the Mount Margaret Murray Greenstone Belt, covering 11 kilometres of prospective greenstone belt. There has been little modern exploration undertaken here. There are several high-grade early 1900 shafts on the tenement. We have multiple high-grade gold intercepts that require follow-up. Here, focusing in and using magnetics, you can see the banded iron formation, which hosts the mineralisation, highlighted in the red. What's interesting on Rincon's Laverton tenements is this area here, where the banded iron formation continues, although it's under superficial cover of 2 to 5 metres. This will be one of our focus areas as it extends through the entire length of our tenements. It's underexplored, as this next slide will show. You can see some historic results here: 4 metres at 1.5 from 21 metres, 7 metres at 15.9 grams per tonne gold from 21, 1 metre at 1.5 from 55 metres. You can see the wide space drilling on certain areas of the property, but a large portion of the property remains untested. We have recently undertaken some soil sampling on this property. Earlier in the new year, around June, July, we identified the GG anomaly up here in the north. We expect to identify other anomalies, and there has been a new interpretation undertaken by the operational team that's identified numerous northwest trending structures that align with the existing mineralisation. This slide shows the soil sampling that has been undertaken this year. The black lines are showing the soil sampling that was undertaken earlier in the year. The operational team were on the ground in November, and you can see the recent soil sampling they've undertaken. We expect to release these results to market during January, but we expect to generate more anomalies and targets from all this soil sampling, and we'll look to drill that in early February of 2021. Finally, the Kirikara Project. This is an earlier stage project which will be a less of a focus than the South Telfer and Laverton projects, but we hold 12,600 hectares of tenements in this area. There's over 30 kilometres of prospective strike, and it's prospective for orogenic gold and IOCG gold and copper. This property has previously been drilled. It was actually drilled by my fellow co-founder, Zephron Reeves. You can see some of the results here, but importantly, there was 8 metres at 1.1% copper from 100 metres and 14 metres at 1% copper from 132 metres. We'll look to do some geophysics over the Kirikara project in the 2nd or 3rd quarter of 2021. This is an earlier stage project, but highly prospective. Moving to the work plan and news flow for 2021. We'll look to commence air core drilling at Laverton in late January, early February. At around the same time, we'll be looking to get on the ground at South Telfer to undertake some soils, some mapping and some geophysics. Post that soils and geophysics and mapping, we'll look to commence drilling at South Telfer in late Feb, early March. We'll also look to do some geophysics on Kirikara in Q2 2021. Post successful drilling at South Telfer, we'll look to do a second campaign of drilling starting in late Q2 2021. If successful with our drilling at South Telfer in phase 1 and 2, we'll look to establish a maiden resource prior to year end. A quick corporate snapshot. We have 51.34 million shares on issue, no options. The issue price at IPO was 20 cents. We have a market capitalisation at 20 cents of just over $10 million. We raised $6 million at IPO before costs, and currently before costs, we have $6.81 million in the bank. That gives us an enterprise value of $3.46 million, which I believe is an extremely attractive entry point to two of the great mining provinces and geological endowments of Western Australia. Importantly, board and management hold 10% of the company. We have several sophisticated large institutional investors on the funds out of London, Australia and Singapore. Quickly on the team, myself, I'm a geologist, I'll be executive chairman, and Zephron Reeves, we were, as previously mentioned, co-founder of Tesoro, which made the El Zorro Gold Project discovery. So we have had recent success and we're focused on deploying capital effectively and efficiently. Ed Mason is one of our non-exec directors. Ed is an engineer by background, most recently with RBC in Sydney. He now runs his own advisory business based out of Sydney and is non-exec chairman of OROC. Blair Sargent, also a very successful mining executive with in excess of 20 years experience. He is currently Executive Director of Bowen Coking Coal and non-executive director of Equasi Mining. Lyle Thorne, consulting geologist, over 28 years industry experience. Lyle will be planning and executing our field programs for us. Lyle successfully floated Beacon Minerals on the Australian Stock Exchange. So a very experienced management and operational team. Thank you very much for your time. Please see contact details here